Are you ready for a new adventure? Time to travel back in time, let's go! Are you ready for a new adventure? Let's learn about the past with Anna and Leo.
Hi friends! Welcome to Unlock This, a podcast from Honest History, where we join our friends Anna, Leo, and Percy on adventures through time and uncover some really cool stories along the way. My name is William. I'm 6 years old, and I love learning about history, especially new stories that I don't hear about in school. I can't wait for today's story, and I think you're gonna love it too. So let's dive in.
Leo, since our last adventure, I'm starting to feel more comfortable on ships.
Really? Oh, yeah, that's great news because I have a lot of ideas when it comes to sea adventures.
Actually, I had an idea. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, please. We agreed you would get to pick the next place.
How about the Titanic?
Wait, wasn't that the ship that sank?
Yes, but I've been reading about it and the ship sounds incredible. Do you know it had a swimming pool and a squash court on board? I would love to walk around and see all the different rooms.
That would be pretty interesting. And it'd be cool to see all the different people on the ship too.
Hello, Percy. We just figured out where we want to go today. Can you show us something in the vault from the Titanic?
Maybe we should tell Percy we want a relaxing adventure, so no sinking ships.
That's a good idea. Hey, Percy, just so you know, Leo and I only want to explore the Titanic, so nothing dangerous, okay?
I don't think he heard you.
I think he wants us to open this drawer.
There's a piece of paper inside. It looks pretty old.
There's a typed message on it. See? Do you think this was typed by a computer?
Did they have computers back then? What year did the Titanic sail?
1912. I actually see the date on the paper right here. It says April 14, 15, 1912.
And there's a message under it. It says, "We have struck iceberg. Sinking fast. Come to our assistance." Something tells me this piece of paper is very important.
Leo, do you feel that?
Here we go! Whoa, I think we've arrived. Does this look like the Titanic to you, Anna?
It looks like we're in some kind of fancy hotel. Check out that staircase. It's huge.
But we must be on a ship. I'm looking out through this window. It's really dark outside, but I think I can see the ocean.
You're right, Leo. And there's a menu on this table. It says RMS Titanic at the top. So we really must be inside the Titanic.
Can I see that menu? The passengers had a lot to choose from for lunch. Look at all the different dishes. There's roast beef, potted shrimp, apple meringue. Oh, and mashed potatoes, my favorite.
I think this must be a first-class menu. The Titanic had 3 different classes for passengers. First, second, and third class. First class was for the wealthiest passengers. They got to use the swimming pool, got bigger bedrooms, and ate the fanciest of foods. But it cost a lot of money to buy a first-class ticket.
So I'm guessing third class was the cheapest ticket to buy?
Yup. And most of the people on the Titanic were third-class passengers. Many of them were immigrants traveling to the United States to begin their new lives. During the trip, they got simple food, shared bedrooms, and usually had to stay in the lower decks.
I wonder where all the passengers are now. There's no one else in this room. I wonder where all the passengers are now. There's no one else in this room.
They might be asleep? It's pretty late. Look at that clock over there. I think it says it's 11:30 p.m.
Did you hear that?
I did. A man shouted something.
I think the noise came from up there, at the top of the ship. Let's go!
Quick, in here.
Oh, this room must be the bridge. This is where they command the Titanic.
Hard-a-starboard!
Leo, do you know what hard-a-starboard means?
I think it means to make a hard turn. There must be something ahead, and they don't want to hit it.
Yes? Oh, stop!
Did you feel that? I think they just turned all the engines off.
What was that?
Look, over to the right. The ship just hit a huge iceberg.
Hard to port! And close the emergency doors!
Oh dear, this can't be good.
Hi friends, are you enjoying today's episode? I'd like to take a quick break from the story to tell you about another great place to learn about the past. Honest History creates magazines and books for kids that are filled with fun stories and activities that bring history to life. From pirates to spies to great inventions and so much more, you'll learn about interesting people, places, and events from around the world that made history. Created for kids ages 6 through 12, you can sign up and receive new adventures delivered straight to your doorstep every quarter. Just visit honesthistory.co. That's honesthistory.co to sign up today. Oh, and here's a special offer for our podcast listeners. Use code UNLOCKTHIS for 10% off. Again, that special code is UNLOCKTHIS. Okay, let's get back to the story.
So far, it seems like everything is normal. They've even turned the engines back on.
Yeah, but something's not right. Is it me, or does it feel like everything is slightly tilting?
You're right. Look at that deck below. I think the chairs are sliding. And they stopped the engines again. Wait, do you hear that? Is that water?
It is! There must be water flooding the ship below!
Wake the passengers and prepare the lifeboats.
Percy, this isn't what we discussed. I wanted to see the Titanic, but I didn't want to be on it while it was sinking! Leo, what do we do?
Okay, let's not panic. Anna, do you know how much time we have? How long did it take for the Titanic to sink after it hit the iceberg?
I know it was fast. I think it was about 3 hours? Okay, Percy said it took 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Well, that means we need to figure out a way to get back to the vault before then.
Agreed, because I know that there aren't many lifeboats. Did you know that the Titanic didn't have enough lifeboats for all of the passengers?
That seems like bad planning.
Yeah, at the time, people said the Titanic was practically unsinkable. But it turns out they were very wrong.
If worse comes to worse, we could just try to hold on to anything we see floating, like a door or something. I'm sure it would fit all of us.
That's true, but let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Okay, so we need to figure out what that piece of paper was in the vault.
And hopefully we'll travel back home in time.
Maybe we should go find the passengers and see what they're doing?
Things don't look very good. They're all trying to figure out who gets on the lifeboats first.
Hannah, you said the Titanic was practically unsinkable. So how did this all happen? I mean, didn't they see the iceberg coming?
The crew got warnings from another ship to beware of ice, but they didn't take these warnings seriously. It takes a long time for ships this size to slow down. And the Titanic was going pretty fast. By the time the crew saw the iceberg, it was too late.
Who's that woman there? She's helping everyone into the lifeboats.
I think that's Molly Brown. She helped keep things calm as people evacuated and organized women and children onto the lifeboats. Molly wanted to keep helping until the last moment. She was finally persuaded to get into a lifeboat at the end. Her nickname was Unsinkable Molly Brown.
We're running out of time. We need to figure out what that paper is in the vault.
Percy, do you have any hints to give us? Now would be the time.
What did he say?
He said try the macaroni room?
Macaroni? Like macaroni and cheese?
Percy, now is not the time for snacks. Oh, sorry, Percy. He said Marconi, not macaroni. Marconi is the name of the man who invented the wireless radio system. The crew used those radios to communicate with other ships that were miles away.
So does that mean we're looking for a room with radios? That makes more sense.
But how are we going to find the Marconi room? The ship is enormous!
Maybe there's a map somewhere. Let's go back to the bridge. We might find it there.
Okay, we're back on the bridge. Let's see if there's a map anywhere in here.
I don't see anything. Maybe there's something in these rooms.
Shh, Leo, do you hear that? I think it's coming from that room over there.
Look, Anna. There are machines here. Do you think they're part of the ship's wireless system?
You might be right. There's a man sitting at the desk, and he has headphones on. It looks like he's tapping on something. Percy said he's using a radio to send messages in Morse code. I remember learning about Morse code in one of my history magazines. It's a language that uses dots and dashes to send messages. In 1912, you couldn't just talk to people over the radio using your voice. You had to send messages using these dots and dashes.
So he's tapping down on that machine to make those dots and dashes. Hey, look! Another man just walked in.
Philip, send SOS. It's the new call, and it may be your last chance to send it.
SOS. Oh, that's a distress signal. It means send help.
He called him Phillips. So that man at the desk, that must be Jack Phillips. He was one of the ship's wireless radio operators.
Do you know who the other man is?
That must be Harold Bride. He was another one of the wireless operators.
Anna, I think the captain just walked into the room.
Men, you have done all you can. You can do no more. Abandon your cabin. Now it's every man for himself.
The captain said they could go, but Phillips won't leave. Look, he's still trying to send out messages.
Yes, he kept working for 15 more minutes before he finally left his post. What's that? Percy says we should look at some of the papers in his room.
Hey, look at these. I found them near the desk. Do you think these papers look similar to the ones we found in the vault? They all say radio telegram at the top.
Those must be radio messages. The wireless operators would write up the messages they heard over the radio and then give those to the captain.
So the paper we found in the vault is a radio message.
And not just any radio message. I think it's one of the messages Philip sent out. He told the other ships that the Titanic hit an iceberg.
Anna, you solved it.
We solved it.
We're back. Phew, it was getting close there for a minute.
Yes, a little too close. I'm glad we're safe.
Me too. But all those poor people, how many of them made it?
There were 2,240 passengers and crew on the Titanic. And sadly, only about 700 people survived. Most of the survivors were women and children because they were allowed to board the lifeboats first. But there were only enough lifeboats for about half of the passengers.
Did things change after the Titanic to stop it from happening again?
Yes. After the disaster, ships had to carry enough lifeboats for all passengers and crew. Ships were also required to have the radio on 24 hours a day so they would get all warnings and calls for help.
I'm looking at the paper we found in the vault again. You're right, Anna. Jack Phillips must have sent this message out to one of the ships asking for help. It looks like they got the message at 11:45 p.m. That was right after the Titanic hit the iceberg.
Many ships were far away when they got those messages, so it would take hours to get there. One ship, called the Carpathia, came to rescue, but it took over 3 hours for it to arrive. By the time they got there, the Titanic had already sunk. But the Carpathia was able to rescue all of the people on the lifeboats.
Wow, the Titanic really was an incredible ship. I'm glad we got to see it, even if it was only for a short time.
Me too, but how about no more ships for a while?
I thought you were starting to like our sea adventures.
I am, but it's always nice to spend time on land.
Welcome back. That sure was a great adventure. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna tell all my friends about this amazing story. That's all for now. But if you want to learn more, be sure to check out my favorite magazine for kids, Honest History. There's a ton of stuff to learn in each issue, and I love the fun activities and questions. Bye! This episode was narrated by Nikki and JoAnn Schinderle and written by Heidi Coburn. The production was read by Robot Pirate Media. To learn more about Honest History, visit us at honesthistory.co and follow for updates on social media.